Hey YouTube, this is Peter. Doing a write-up here. I have a 2004 S500 Mercedes, and the other day I was getting ready to leave, and I pulled out of the driveway, out of the garage, and all of a sudden my AC turned off. So now I was like, okay, well, these parts are very expensive, and so I had to figure out a way to diagnose this the car myself. I have worked on this car many times, a couple times, do a lot of DIY on this car. Now, I couldn't find any write-up on this this air conditioning issue, so I went ahead and started diagnosing myself. So just to let you guys know, over here, this AC off on light thing, if this button, if that light is on, okay, and your AC was running, that means you have a freon issue. That means you have insufficient freon in the car, and that would be your malfunction. So in my case, it wasn't the issue, so I had to diagnose it from there. And if you were to press this rest button simultaneously with the active charcoal button, that right there will, if you press it, hold it down, it's going to show you if there's any malfunctions, and then you can scroll up and down with these. There's a tutorial on that. You can see it on a different channel right here on YouTube, but in my case, it was just one error. I believe it was like 1456. But I couldn't find the reference on it, so I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to diagnose this myself. So first, I went ahead and started figuring out, okay, the possibilities could be a bad blower, freon, which in my case it wasn't, like I said, because that AC button, it was staying off, and I could turn it off and on myself. So that means that wasn't the issue. And my problem was that I had no blower whatsoever. So one of three things. These are your culprits. It could be, well, one of four actually. Number one, I always want to go with the cheapest way possible, so I checked the fuse. I believe it's slot 33 in the passenger hood side. So I went ahead and checked that. It was good. So normally when your blower is bad, it'll create a lot of friction, and so it'll pop your fuse. So I went ahead and checked it anyway. So I took this whole assembly apart. I'm going to show you. See, there's that wire. This wire right here is the one that connects to the whole HVAC system. And this whole entire part right here is where the blower connects to. And this is the light. You got to be really careful when you take that out. Sorry I didn't put a tutorial on how to remove the under dash panel, because I had a hard time myself. But here's the blower. The first thing you want to check out on a blower to make sure that if it's bad or if it's still good is you want to try to spin it. Now if you're feeling a lot of friction on the blower, it may be going bad. Okay, so what you do when you take these off, it's held by 4 screws. I believe it's a Torx. And so what you want to do is check to make sure that there's no rusts around this area. And in my case, my motor is really good. It's not so bad at all. I mean, I can see a little bit of like a calcium deposit here. But what I did, I checked out the bearing also right here. It's still good. What I went ahead and did was that to diagnose it, I went to the cheapest way possible. So I started with the fuse. The fuse is good. And then I took out the motor assembly. And I went ahead and directed a 12-volt positive and negative right here. You see, red is positive, brown is negative in this case, and the fan worked. So that's not my problem then. Now attached to the fan, you will see this blower regulator. Okay, that right there, we'll get to that in a minute. But what I did was that first I went ahead and checked the center console. Okay. The thing is with mine, when you go ahead and turn on the fan, okay, see it's at 0, and then as you go up, You see those? How the lever goes up? That shows you right there that the center console works. But enable for you to make sure, okay, what I did, turn that off, okay, what I did, I checked all those and everything works. And then if your blower's not working, at the same time, you could also check these little buttons like auto, you know, this, you could turn these knobs, turn on the recirculation and circulate button, and you'll hear the mechanism on the vents moving in and out and whatnot. So that's how you could tell that the center console is working. But what I did was that this connector right here, okay, this is a DIN, a 4-pin. The reason why it's only has 3 right here is because my car only has a single climate, which is only for the front cockpit. Now this is a positive, negative, and this is for the temperature control. This module connects to the blower regulator. And what I did here was that I probed these, positive and negative, and I connected it to a voltmeter. This is how you could tell if the center console works, if this console works. So I put it in a voltmeter, one of these. I'm not going to go ahead and, I'm not going to demonstrate it right now because of time sakes. I just have this cheap voltmeter here that has this little lever here that shows, you know, what the voltage is at. Basically, what you want to check for is to make sure that there's power coming from their center console to this DIN connector. Okay, that's a #1 way to diagnose it. That's how I started. Well, I actually started with the fuse, then I checked the blower, then I'm checking the center console. These are the most expensive parts, so I go from the cheapest to the most expensive. Because of course we want to save money, we don't want to just change everything. Okay, so what I did was that I probed positive and negative right here. Positive, negative. And then what I did was I turned on the key. And then I'm looking at my voltmeter. I put it on level 1. Okay, it registers around 5.5 volts. Level 2, 6. And it keeps on climbing as you go high. So that tells me that the center console works because it's sending power to this DIN connector. Okay, so now I know for a fact that there's power coming in here, and I know for a fact that my blower is good. So what I did next was that this is the new one. I have the old regulator here somewhere. Let's see. Well, I don't even know where it's at anymore. But what I did was that I went ahead and connected the regulator to that DIN connector, and then I probed the positive and negative of this, which is the connector that connects to the blower. The reason why I checked it that way is because this is the only thing that's in between the center console power, which is this DIN connector, and the blower motor. So how I checked this was that I went ahead and put the power here, and me knowing the fact that there's power coming from the DIN connector, which is from the center console, to this blower regulator, I know for a fact that if this regulator works, power would be registering here to turn on the fan, the blower. Well, when I put the voltmeter here, it registered 0. Now here's the thing with these. Since this is a circuit, there's a single and a dual MOSFET. And in this case, this is a single because I only have a single climate, which is the front of my car. Or vice versa. Now if you have like an AMG or a S600, which has the climate control on the rear passengers, you are going to have that 4th connector here, which is for the climate control in the back. It is very important that you make sure you get the proper regulator for your car. In this case, mine is a Burr or a Bear. Burr. It's actually a Bear. And what I did was that I referenced it on what I checked on my old part. So I checked on my old part and I made sure that it's the same part. And as soon as I found that out, that this was the broken part, okay, I went ahead and called around, and of course the dealership, they want to change the whole entire module, and they wanted around $1,200 for it, for the whole HVAC system. So I went on YouTube, I went on eBay. I got this brand new OEM part, okay, it says Bear right here. So I know for sure it says made in Germany. I'm not sure you can see it right there. It says made in Germany, hella. and I made sure that this is the right part, and I went ahead and bought it. This was $79.99 with free shipping, and it got here in 1 day. So and I went ahead and tested it out, and I plugged it in right here, plugged it in there, I plugged in the blower motor here, and it works. So needless to say, this solved my HVAC problem. Now in some cases, for example, you will have a seized motor, okay, and when that motor is seized, you're gonna have to replace it. And I don't know the cost on that, but basically, ladies and gentlemen, that's how I wanted to diagnose this car. Like I said, I'm all about saving money. You know, you can drive a European car, but you don't have to be spending a ton of money to maintain it. You could do things on your own. I mean, after all, it's still a regular car with just a bunch of computerized components. So I always tell people, start with the cheapest part possible. And in this case, it's the fuse. Then it would be the regulator, then the blower, then the center console. So try to simplify everything, you guys, when you work on this. And, you know, from there, it's actually pretty simple. And you just be careful with these little small parts, because I actually broke a couple of pins already. So I would have to just replace those. But other than that, you guys, it's a pretty simple job. Like I said, I haven't seen a review on this on YouTube yet, so I'm posting one here. And hey, if you guys have any questions, feel free to email me or send me a message, and I'll try to help you to the best that I can. But you know, try not to, if you're a little bit, even a little bit mechanically inclined. I mean, like I said, this is just a plug and play. Look, plug right there. This goes to the blower. This actual module attaches to the blower. I mean, everything is pretty much self-explanatory. As soon as you see it here, you just take off the screws, and just be careful that these screws right here doesn't fall through this back wall here, because I had to take that plate off to get one of the screws. But other than that, you guys, it's a pretty simple job. And you know, like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. And this is your write-up for a replacement on a blower regulator on a 2004 S500 Mercedes W220. And I'm not sure if it's the same for the other models, but I'm sure it's pretty much the same. And the only advice I could tell you is that make sure you get the OEM part, because they do sell like a different generic part on eBay, and it will not work. It will not work. Don't get those little China brands that replaces these regulators, because it will not work. You'll have one side not working on your climate control as opposed to the other side. All right, guys, you guys have a blessed day. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.